figured out a way to keep his team very competitive. Now, the challenge for Baylor. Teams play zone defense. But like Syracuse back in the day, they play zone defense the whole game.
They do.
So you have to be patient, get shots.
Run a lot of backdoor cuts, and they go late in the clock and force the defense to play all 30 seconds.
Well, here it is, a lot of dribble, drive, circle, replace. So, one, you got to get underneath your offensive opponent to keep them and make them cut.
Oh, boy, around the world and out. The ultimate iron Ncaa to open for Tunde. You talk about frustrating for a team that wants to get out and go like Baylor. This team can really take the air out of it. Good look by Grayson Grove. Look out. Ackman. Obi Ackman. Out of Aurora, Colorado. Metro State in Denver, where it began. They won a Division II national title that I witnessed years ago before making it over. Then through Northeastern, it is a good soft splash from Ncaa Tyson.
And how about this? Short-handed, rosterized, but still just a little pressure employed that falls back into a zone. Just to allow
transfer to you. Well, man, you've got to shoot it if you played at Belmont at any time.
This offense keeps you honest. I mean, it keeps you on your toes. In particular when you're on the weak side of the ball because of the cuts.
Violation, but the turnover occurred before the horn went off. Again.
Well, see, here's the thing about playing with pace. A lot of times you think of pace being up and down really quick. But in their half-court set, you can play with pace by how fast you move, how hard you...
So this time can't get that one to go. Here comes Cameron Carr the other way. Good pass. Yes, Safu with the extra pass and a foul against Tyson. On Ncaa Tyson and Powell at the line. Baylor basically had to reconstruct their entire roster this year, Jim. And I remember Scott's an old friend, his dad, Homer. But Scott said, that, you know, I had to reconstruct this entire team. We just ran out of time. The calendar, by the time when the chemistry was really beginning to develop, they had run out of games. But it looked bleak. The mojo and some more roster reconstruction going into next season in the Big 12.
Yeah, when you think about it, last 5 games, they shot the ball at a high clip at 51%. They were scoring 81 points a game, so kind of finding, like you said, that rhythm late.
Right. Baylor always athletic. Dan Skillings is in the game now, the transfer from Cincinnati. He's looking to launch.
Now didn't bail out the shooter. He came up with a stop.
Baylor leads it by 3. Good idea to keep a lead against these guys. Oh, nice curl. Beautiful move. Okay, big, isn't it? Yes, Safu. They did hit the nail, look down, and find Ratai.
Yeah, but Coach Drew that time called that play to get Tunde Yesufu right there at the free throw line. So now he's an initiator, a playmaker. And that time he delivered that pass on time and on target.
Shot clock down to 4. Durkin. And the rebound taken off the deck.
Right, a straight line drive right there by Suma. So that was the part that kind of, I think, shook the ship, so to speak.
Right. It's
not that you were losing, but how early.
Isaac Williams, the 4th, drops it through. It's 14-9, Baylor by 5. Everybody has to handle some, you know. They all have to be able to put it on the deck.
He was one of 3 golfers to start all 20 of the Big Ten games. So, you know, you knew you could rely on him. He actually was 6 in minutes in the Big Ten, you know, at 34 or 35 minutes a game.
Ncaa Tyson with 7 of that. Used his body as a shield, going reversal at the rim.
Yeah, but Coach Medved can't be happy with that. There's no way you take a straight line drive through the heart of a zone defense and able to get to the basket.
Tyson, tough shot. And he cans it right over Skillings, who did a pretty good job on him.
No, Skillings was there, but
Out of Monroe, North Carolina, Cade Tyson. Williams, that was a beautiful pass.
look at the recovery. Force him to kick the ball back out for a jump shot. It's very good defensive execution.
Again, little baseline blast, and it's 16-15. By Tyson again. Minnesota's now 5 of their last 6. Make it 6 of 7. Durkin, the Davidson transfer.
And always has a smile personality.
Yeah, he plays with joy.
He does.
7-0 run now for Minnesota. We got a little action in a 3-second call. We did.
So if you're caught in actions on the weak side, the middle could be open, or as this drive takes place, that's where the trouble comes in. Jimmy,
This in a Minnesota game, they've not subbed at all until Shinholster got on the floor. Okay. So we have had one sub. I was kidding with Ncaa. I said, I remember talking to Bobby Crimmins years ago, and he used to say, I don't want to play more than 7 because if I have too many options, I'll screw it up. Ncaa sort of smiled and said, well, it has sort of dictated the way we had to play.
We're more creative with their defense. He'll be able to create turnovers off that defense, which lead them to be able to get out and run. So a lot of that will look different when the roster is more complete.
Yeah. I'm taking Iron Eagle's call to an all-new low.
Yeah, no, you can have that call right there. But once again, if you're not getting pressure on the passer, when the back door is available, the pass is going to be completed.
I'm sorry, I had to go there.
No, you didn't.
Folks, follow along.
Yeah.
Beautiful ball fake. Awesome. I can't get it to go. Shinholster, though. That was a beautiful ball fake, which helped create that open shot. Gophers up by 2. Yesufu.
Yeah, he can do that. I mean, one of the most athletic players we have in the country. Former McDonald's All-American, top freshman.
He'll have some decisions to make.
So he will. I mean, it's more than likely that he places his name in the draft.
Speaking of on cue, how about that?
Well, you said, okay, I'll defend it. And then he comes back, Yesufu with the block.
Yeah. Durkin on the wing, Osama. Tap out. Shinholster. They get to the nail and Yesufu really well, don't they? Too strong that time. Knocked away, last touch by Tyson. It'll be Baylor ball underneath their own hoop. Langston Rogers check back in. I just gave him a shout out. There you go. Yesufu, not there.
Too easy, but Tyson. Cade Tyson able to recover.
Reynolds off the dribble handoff.
Like I said, the key is on the switches to be underneath your man, so he has to cut through you and not in front of you.
Beautiful interior pass again by Williams, the 4th. And the big fella, Caden Powell, knew what to do with it. Ton of potential of number 44. He's really a trump card player for them. And we got a walk. Trapped. Good find. Wide open is Carr. Drives in and gets it to go.
Well, not settling. That time, Yesufu, a little off balance, but still attracted that double team. And
offensive foul. Minnesota got 18 points in the first 9, but they have 0 in the last 3+ minutes.
All right, here straight up and straight down. Who's that? I think that might have been Grayson. No, yeah, Grove that went up, but Carr showing that extreme athletic ability. Who played for Minnesota Timberwolves.
I remember him at Southern Illinois.
Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
Well, we had the same agent, tournament. So I got to know Chris really well during his time in the NBA. So once again, showing how old I am, covering his son.
What's your? I mean, how their careers got going, as you see Yesufu with a nice turnaround J to make it 24-18. 8-0 run now for the Bears. Mike Glynn, the Stinger, was also a Southern Illinois Saluki, a former partner on Atlanta Hawks. He's got that proverbial whodunit look on his face.
He said, I did it, but it wasn't what you thought I did.
I think of those days, Jim. I remember you coming in after the Mavericks got knocked out of the playoffs to work with me in a studio back in those days in the mid-90s.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, we weren't anywhere close to getting in the playoffs. So
against Skillings. I beg your pardon, that foul was actually in game number 2 of the quarterfinal round of the second annual Crown here in Las Vegas. Tim Brando, Jim Jackson, Allison Williams with you. Happy to have you with us. Well, I tell you, from deep, Ackman's feeling it. So is this guy. Off what they used to call
of Obi, Ogden. That time, Agbim, 3 for 5, 3 rebounds.
You know, he's, when you think about it, not a guy that's going to necessarily wow you, but he's just very impartial. And he's helped Baylor tremendously on this end of the floor. Boy, oh boy, you talk about the iron unkind to Carr. That was halfway down and out. And then Yesufu fouled on the putback opportunity.
Another offensive rebound. That's offensive rebound number, I believe it's 6.
I've seen Baylor in person this year, and I got to say this, Minnesota is the kind of team that usually will frustrate athletic teams like Baylor on the defensive end. I think they have handled the Minnesota patience and the way they play, the slips and the cuts. I think they've handled it really, really well.
Skating early. Right, even that time, K. Tyson was able to get on the inside. Who's that down low? It was Isaac Williams. But I tell you, they never let you off the hook. Your head has to be on the swivel. You have to be disciplined. Understand.
And that puts Tyson at the free throw line. It really goes back to when Scott was talking to Allison. He pointed out what the issue was, and he fixed it.
Yep.
Right in that huddle at that very moment.
Well, he knew that was going to be a challenge coming in. The bigger challenge was for his young men to stay disciplined guarding. And a really good job with the second part of it.
They kind of hedged on Yesufu there. He still makes a beautiful spin move. Can't finish, trying to use the glass. Pulled out of there by Shinholster.
Deep post position, quick move to the basket. Enabled that 2-point basket inside for Grove.
That ended in an 8-minute, 11-second drought for the Golden Gophers. Pretty good when you think about it to go cold that long and still only be down 5.
Yeah, 2-possession game.
Retired. And the rebound collected by Tyson. Tyson's got 11, the rest of the team 13. That one's too long for Durkin. Especially when you like to play the Baylor way. The lead is 5 after this timeout.
Oh, this is how you execute a switch to perfection to get the position you want. Watch the switch. Grove gets Ken. Carr on his back. Riddles, all he has to do is deliver where that lead hand is at by Grayson. But again, that's the challenge right there. Got his defender up underneath him, sealed him inside. He can do a little bit of everything. It's durable, plays about 19 minutes.
You know, really the only guy that came from a transfer standpoint with, you know, a senior year ahead of him that was more effective as a newcomer was Bennett Sturts.
Yeah.
I mean, other than him, you'd have to say that guy was as good a newcomer as you could find in the Big Ten Conference. Look at that athleticism on display, but unable to convert Tunde Yesufu.
Minnesota's doing a really around the shooter when they get closer to the basket, speaking of which.
Woo, strong move by Tyson. He blew right by Skillings. 29, 26, 13. He's got half their points. Minnesota's got quick hands. That ball gets to Yesufu, and they're waving those arms around, looking for deflections. Carr. Bounced around, and the putback by Skillings. And Skillings, we mentioned, 6-0 so far. Shinholster. And Minnesota unable to get that one to go, so this is a big defensive sequence for them to hold this game at 5.